All right, what we want to do here is show how this simulation sheet works. Uh, the model for the simulation is up here. It's this transition matrix which shows when you're in the current state, states can either be up or down. What is the probability law for going to the state in the next period? So that's given by the first row, and when you're down, that's given by the second row. So the transition matrix is part of the model. The other part of the model is what's the initial state. The initial state can be down or it can be up. You can change this matrix in two ways. Way one is through this drift parameter, and the drift parameter, if you will, affects the slope, the non-statistical part of the slope of this path. So the higher that number, the steeper the slope. If you get the number all the way down to 0, let's see if we can do that. I was clicking the wrong way. If you get it all the way down to 0, then there's no drift and the probabilities are equal for each state. Then there is this correlation parameter, and let's make that positive for a second. What that does is it adds probability to this diagonal, so makes each state more likely to persist, and you could make the correlation parameter negative, and then that's adding weight to this diagonal, which makes each state likely to revert to the other state. Finally, I'm not going to run the simulation, but you can reset it, and I'm going to do that here, and that eliminates all the data. To run the simulation, it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to actually run. This chugs along and then does this stuff. After you've run the simulation, there will be data generated down here, and you should actually copy the data starting with state and all the way down here. There'll be 1,000 entries, and then you can paste it onto the next sheet called counting streaks, which looks like this. You paste it in here in column A, and what column C and column E will do is tell you the maximum number in the longest up streak and the maximum number in the longest down streak, and it'll just give you that. You should put in what the parameters were if you were going to do that, so you can record under what circumstances you got that sort of streak. This particular data is done under a 50-50 no correlation simulation, and the longest streak's around 10, which just fits what you would expect.